There is a Leeds United without Ethan Ampadu, and there's a Leeds United with Ethan Ampadu. And as this poster there says, both are worlds apart. Welcome back to Where Whites Walk. It's 20 minutes of Leeds United review. Coming up this week, we're talking about the brilliance of Ampadu. Are Leeds a little bit lucky this week? 2 games and have come through both. We both should have lost at Chelsea and, of course, against Birmingham. And just what's going on with some of the fringe players? Why are they not stepping up when they've been given the chance? We've got Sam and Chris back with us this week. We're also looking ahead to this week's Premier League fixture as well. Drop us a quick sub if you haven't yet done so. This is lots of social media takes, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Sam, let's get straight into it, shall we? Ethan Ampadu. He makes a difference, doesn't he?
Makes a huge difference. We're just so passive in the first half. And a leader is someone that makes things happen. And I think in the first half, we're waiting for something to happen instead of making it happen. Second, every ball. It was an absolutely dreadful performance in the first half. And we were so lucky not to be going in a couple of goals down. But I think I need to tie that fella down to a new contract pretty soon.
I wonder if you agree with this one, Chris. Daryl says, Ethan Ampadu is up there with Pablo Hernandez as one of Leeds United's most important signings in the past 20 years, and I do not say that lightly. Do you jump on board with that view?
100%. He is fantastic, and I mean, you just see it today. He doesn't start the game, obviously, he's rested, but the second he comes on, he just makes everyone around him a lot more calmer. I think everyone on the team just looks like they understand what they're doing the second he's on the pitch. Like, he just controls everything. And he's not a player that's going to score you goals, but he is that important to the team. And I think he's up there, maybe even more than Pablo in years to come if he stays.
Okay. Staying with you, Chris, some of the fringe players have not performed, it's fair to say, in this game. Who wound you up the most in terms of their performance?
I'd like to start with Nonto. I felt bad for him because, he doesn't get a lot of minutes. And I think he's an exceptional player. But, when he gets his opportunity in the FA Cup, unfortunately for him, Farke's put him at right wing back, which, is not a position that he plays. So I do feel for him because he comes on, he tries to make his impression. He's played out of position. He then plays poorly, as the whole team do. And then it kind of looks bad on him. But I think one person that just really looked awful was Buonanotte. I mean, The only signing we made in Jan, and he was horrendous. And he was hooked at half-time. And I think, bearing in mind he's already been left out of the team a couple of times, I don't think we'll see him again.
No.
That was echoed by a lot of posters. Cheers, Chris. Steve says the midfield was totally wrong in the first half. Bayonetta and Tanaka too weak. And Sam and Longstaff looked completely rusty. Longstaff, sorry. And for the old days of reserve team football, at least Ampadu came in the second half. Yeah. Do you agree about that Longstaff and Bernetta comment?
Yeah, to an extent. I thought Tanaka struggled throughout the game. Seemed to be losing his footing quite a bit. I don't know whether his studs were too short, but he seemed to be falling about a lot. Couldn't seem to tackle, passing, maybe trying too hard. It was a pretty frantic game, no one at any time. Longstaff, I think, grew into the game. I think he was poorer at the beginning, but the longer the game went on, he got better. But I thought until Ampadu came on, the midfield was awful, really. There's no other way to describe it. They couldn't tackle, they couldn't pass, but with absolutely no control in that game whatsoever. We got better the longer it went on, but it was a frighteningly bad performance, and it just comes into this pattern of, first of all, away from home and early kickoffs. And I think we're really lucky to get through it. If Birmingham had someone who could finish, like that could have been 3 or 4-1 quite easily.
Yeah. We'll come on to that Chelsea result as well because it had parallels with that, didn't it, as well? Should we talk goalkeepers, Chris? Our favourite topic on here, of course, in recent weeks as well. This particular poster from let's have the where is it gone? There it is. Not that one. This one as well. Fringe players did themselves no favours, other than Perry, though his kicking was terrible. Dreadful performance. Positive the next round. For the next round. Brilliant penalties, and Perry can actually save a penalty. Yeah, is he positioning himself back potentially for number one?
I mean, as one of the comments said there, his distribution is awful. I mean, it doesn't matter if you're playing an Arsenal or you're playing a Birmingham City. He just cannot seem to find the player up the pitch, and it just puts us under pressure every time. And luckily, we're playing a team today that, like Sam said, they just couldn't finish because we would have been punished. But he does put us under pressure, and he did make some really good saves today. One in particular, but I don't know. I don't think you can drop Darlow for that just based on one good game because as Roy Keane says, he's just doing his job.
Jordan Jones says Perry was our best player today. Is anyone going to mention that? Well, there we are. We've just done. Rich says Perry's played himself back into the number one role. For you, Sam?
He was our best player, but it was a pretty low bar. To be honest, Ampadu played well when he came on. Some of them were. I thought the defenders were okay. I just thought the midfield was terrible. But as mentioned a few minutes ago, in terms of shot stopping, crosses, that sort of thing, Perry was absolutely fine. If his distribution was good, I'd say put him back in a number one spot tomorrow. But I think that's probably his best game this season for us. And the comments are right. He was the only one really who didn't let himself down out of the 11 that started.
Okay. But Leeds can win a penalty shootout, Chris. We've not said that in many times in recent years. Yeah. Who do you want in the next round?
I know I've said before I don't care about the cup, but now I'd like to go on a run. So give me Mansfield. Give me I'm not saying that Mansfield would be easy. I would rather play a team at home that we've got more chance beating than going and putting out a full 11 against an Arsenal, getting slapped for the third time this season against them. So a Mansfield or I have no idea who else is in it from the lower divisions, but someone nice.
Yeah, well, we've still got Wrexham we've got Norwich left in the Championship. Yeah, if you want any of them, or who else we got? Southampton, of course, they're still on there as well.
Yeah, lower league at home
Okay.
and play the starting 11. Farke has been criticised for not giving these guys minutes, but then when he does, they don't perform. So whose fault is it? His for not giving them minutes, or is he not giving them minutes because he knows that they're not up to the mark? But that's been like a couple of games going back to the horror show at Sheffield at the start of the season, where our second string players just aren't up to it.
Okay. Speaking of horror shows, Chelsea was heading that way, wasn't it, Chris, midweek, when somehow, some way, you battle back. I mean, the defending for the second goal from Chelsea was just incredibly poor. What did you, I mean, you watched it, you were there. What did you make of it?
I don't think Chelsea deserved to be in the lead by 2 goals. I think, you take away the penalty, which is an absolutely brain dead decision from Bijou. I have no idea why he's just randomly shoved into the ground. But if you take that away, because the player's not going to get a shot away, it's 1-0. I think we were very much in the game, but it's almost like we just changed the way we wanted to play, and we just scared the living daylights out of Chelsea. They didn't have a clue what we were doing. We almost suffocated them for a short period, which gave us enough time to get back into the game, just like we did at Liverpool. And I have no idea where this is coming from, because we've never really been a team that gets firing once we're 1-0 down, let alone 2. But yeah, I mean, it was great to see. It was like a very spirited fight back. I think we maybe could have gone on to win it. Could have definitely deserved to go and lose it with Palmer's howler at the end there. But I've seen enough 90-plus minute goals conceded this season already. So
Okay.
I think Fark has got it wrong against these big teams. When we try and defend, they will inevitably score. If you look at the second half of Man City, when we're 2-0 down against Liverpool, 2-0 down against Chelsea, at home against Chelsea, when you have a go at these teams, they're not so clever defensively. And I think rather than trying to see the game out and play for 0-0, have a go at them. Like old Corporal Jones used to say, they don't like it up them. And it was pretty route one stuff. It was just people running at them, just induced panic. And we saw that with Liverpool and City as well. That I think sometimes we show these teams too much respect.
Okay. Aston Villa then up next, Sam, away from home, of course, again. And then City, of course, at home to follow. This ends your run of tricky games. So those Marches looks a bit better than February. How do you see the league at the moment? I mean, take a point at Villa, given...
A point at Villa would be good. They're not the same standard as Chelsea or Arsenal. I'm more unlucky to maybe lose to them at home. They're a good team, but I think they're beatable. And I think we need to be a bit more positive away from home. The home form's fine and all the rest. But we're going to need to get more than one win away. And if we can get... Okay, we've got a point at Chelsea. If I suppose we get 1 point out of the next 2, it's not a disaster. But, if we get a few players back, I think we're capable of winning that game.
Okay. Chris, do you I mean, not necessarily take a point, but do you look at West Ham's form at the moment and think, we've got to go for more?
Yeah, see, this is the interesting thing. West Ham have been in some really good form, and they have been playing really well. And I think they'll stay up. I really do. But 6 or 7 games ago, it was 8 points between us and West Ham. 6 or 7 games later, it's only 6 points. And we've now leapfrogged Spurs. We've increased the gap to what it was to Forest. So, if they're going to gain 2 points on us every 6 or 7 games, we're going to be fine. And in that time, I think they've lost 1 or 2. And they've played some quite winnable teams. And I think I'm not too concerned anymore. Obviously, they could win their next 2 games. Forest could come good under their new manager. We could lose to Villa and City. And then we sit here and say we're in trouble. But like you mentioned, Villa and City end our run of hard games. And then we start to look at Wolves at home, Burnley at home, Brentford at home, Brighton at home, who are absolutely terrible at the moment. So I think we would survive purely just on our home form. I think we'll take some points away from home, but I genuinely think the next 3 or 4 games we could lose them all away from home, and we'll still be safe just on our home form.
Yeah, okay. We'll review every single one of those with you, of course, on this channel. And we know this was longer and very experienced Leeds podcast which you listen to. But if you can squeeze 20 more minutes of your time each week as we review some of the good and bad and quite farcical social media tweets with these two, and of course Jacob, we'd be delighted to have your company. We are doing the A to Z of Leeds United, of course, every single week to finish off as well. We're up to letter P this week. You managed O quite well last week. I'd imagine there's quite a few for this, Sam, is there?
Easy one today. Joel Pirro scored a penalty. I don't have to look that one up.
Any others? I mean, and the legends of Leeds of yesteryear. For P.
I will go for the Yorkshire Pirlo, Calvin Phillips.
Okay.
And there are probably others as well, but I just think in my era, I mean, he was a star player under Bielsa. He won England's Player of the Year when he was at Leeds. I think he's someone that deserves to be there based on how he performed under those Bielsa years.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. Phillips, anybody? We're going to go for someone in the comments here saying you've forgotten X, Y, and Z here. Any others trip off the tongue?
It's hard to think of any.
Okay.
Pollyon, was he one of ours? Dominic Pollyon, that name
He was.
sort of, yeah.
Okay. We'll put Phillips in then, and then just get harangued in the comments for forgetting all. I'm sure lots of big legends, in particular. Now next week they are going to need your help. Has there ever been a Leeds United player with a surname beginning with Q that can get in the A to Z? As we hit one of those tricky letters so far, get your Wikipedia, get your searches going on all of that, and let us know if you've remembered. You can remember ever seeing a player with a surname Q for Leeds United. Right, thank you very much, Sam. Thank you, Chris, for your company this week. Really good again. We'll catch you the other side of the Aston Villa game, of course, next Sunday. Thanks so much for watching.
Okay, good night. Thank you. Bye.